Welcome to NewsDecoded. Before we dive into tonight's deep analysis, take a second to hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and drop a comment below. Your engagement helps us bring you more of the stories that matter. Welcome to Dark Corners, the show that pulls back the curtain on the hidden truths and unsettling realities shaping our world. Tonight, we're digging into a story that just took a bizarre and, frankly, unsettling turn. Folks, the lawyer who helped seal Jeffrey Epstein's controversial 2008 plea deal with then U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta. A man named Roy Black has just died. He passed away at the age of 80 in Coral Gables, Florida. Now, 80 years old, that's a decent run, right? But Epstein's lawyer dying right now. And granted, he was 80. But let's just follow the facts about what else has happened in the past 24 hours. And I'm not just getting conspiratorial here. These are the things that happened. Epstein's lawyer just died. That's number one. Number two, the House of Representatives issued a subpoena. Despite attempts by Magamike Johnson to block it, they issued a subpoena for Ghislaine Maxwell to be deposed in the House of Representatives. Magamike Johnson then threw the House into recess, essentially saying, "Go home. We're shutting down the business of Congress right now to give Donald Trump the time and space to deal with Ghislaine Maxwell and the Jeffrey Epstein files." Donald Trump then ordered his Department of Justice head, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's former criminal defense lawyer, who is now the Deputy Attorney General, to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell. They even posted public messages saying that Trump's Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General would be meeting directly with Ghislaine Maxwell right now. And that also comes after Donald Trump fired the lead prosecutor in both Ghislaine Maxwell's and Epstein's cases, Maureen Comey. Donald Trump had actually blamed Maureen, Comey's dad, as the perpetrator of what Donald Trump's been calling the Epstein hoax. And now, Epstein's lawyer just died. Again, at the age of 80, it could have absolutely nothing to do with all of the facts that I just laid out. I want to be clear about that. But Roy Black, the famed defense attorney for Rush Limbaugh, Epstein, and others, dies after his career. Just a reminder for you about the deal and the situation. Here was a little recap of what happened over there. The women were not consulted or allowed to weigh in on that decision, and their attorneys argue that's a violation of the Crime Victims' Rights Act of 2004. Pardon me. Now, Epstein's attorney, the well-known Roy Black, appeared in court, and he said the written negotiations between Epstein and the prosecution that resulted in no charges should not be made public in this civil rights violation case. "We are here because these are important issues for the client. And I don't mean to make light of that, but these are important issues for crime victims, for defendants, for defense lawyers, for prosecutors. These are important things that the courts are going to have to wrestle with. Congress passed statutes that have to be followed, and the court now is going to have to determine what the contours of that are. And what we really want is for the victims to have fair rights in court. Everybody's always catering to the defendant. And before the defendant gets a sweetheart deal, maybe we can prevent some of that if the victims were given the rights that the legislature says they deserve." Now, yesterday, Donald Trump, in an Oval Office press conference with the president of the Philippines, was asked some questions about Epstein. Donald Trump responded by saying, "I don't really follow that too much. The real hoax you all need to focus on," he goes, "is Obama. Obama's responsible," Trump says, "for something Trump refers to as Russia, Russia, Russia." He goes, "Russia, Russia, Russia. There was a Russia coup. A Russia coup. Dude, what the hell are you even talking about? We know you love Vladimir Putin right now. We heard you back in 20. First off, why are you whining about 2016, you freaking baby? Number two, we heard you back then say, Russia. If you're listening, find the emails. We heard you say that. And all of your actions since then. I don't even need to look at the secret files and the dossiers. I don't give a crap about that. I watch what you do in public. I can see what you do in public. So, here's what Donald Trump said there. Let's play it. No, I have no concern. He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's a sort of a witch hunt. Just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold. Tulsi Gabbard, what they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up all the way up to 2020 of the election. They tried to rig the election and they got caught, and there should be very severe consequences for that. Okay? Now Donald Trump also in this bizarre Oval Office press conference with the leader of the Philippines. By the way, the leader of the Philippines is the son of the dictator from 1972 to 1981 who killed and disappeared thousands of people from the Philippines. And by the way, Donald Trump's like, great family you come from. Big fan of your dad. Like, big fan of your family. By the way, as the current president tried to distance himself from that, I'll just say that. But here, Donald Trump then says, we found absolute proof, better than absolute proof, that Obama is a criminal, and this is what you need to focus on. Obama did it. Hillary Clinton did what? What are you talking about? Like, for real? Are you that desperate? Okay? As we wrote on the Midas Touch account, whatever is in those Epstein files about Trump must be absolutely horrific. Here, play this clip. But what we found is even more so. Now, we found absolute. Or this isn't like evidence. Or this is like proof. Irrefutable proof that Obama was seditious. That Obama was trying to lead a coup. And it was with Hillary Clinton. With all these other people, but Obama headed it up. And I get a kick when I hear everyone talks about people I never even heard of. It was this way. No, it was Obama. He headed it up, and it says so right in the papers. Got everything. This is the biggest scandal in the history of our country. And it really goes on to even the auto pen, because it all relates to the same thing. It all started the same sick minds. You have an auto pen, which is a tremendous. Well, we don't have a president. We have an auto pen that signs everything. I'll bet you sign everything. You don't have auto pens, but here's the thing. Regardless of whatever is in the Epstein files, right? We know from what's been released, it's absolutely horrifying. The facts that are out there already are as damaging and as devastating as you can be. As I've said, if you have a pie graph and there's 100% in the pie. If 10% of the Epstein files have been released thus far in civil and criminal and administrative and other actions like that, Donald Trump's name appears all over the existing files. And not in innocuous ways, in very dangerous and devastating ways. For example, a civil case involving a 14-year-old girl says she was brought to Mar-a-Lago by Epstein and Ghislaine. Epstein shows her off to Donald Trump and says, "What do you think about this one?" She was a Jane Doe, another 14-year-old. It may have been the same 14-year-old Jane Doe in the criminal case involving Ghislaine Maxwell, said she was brought to Mar-a-Lago and showed to Donald Trump. Maria Farmer, who was a victim sexually assaulted by Jeffrey Epstein, she says she was in Epstein's office. Donald Trump walks into the office. Donald Trump looks her up and down while she's in gym clothes, and then Donald Trump looks at her and Epstein goes, No, that's not the one for you. Go into the other room. Go into the other office room, she said. She observed that, as I mentioned, Virginia Giuffre, underage girl, towel girl. She since died by suicide. She worked at the Mar-a-Lago spa as a towel girl. Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein lived down the block. They would walk over, and then they would. They found her as the towel girl, underage, who was previously homeless before getting this job in Mar-a-Lago. That was Epstein's MO, preying on destitute and homeless little girls. Found her, and then sex trafficked her. I've showed you articles from 1997, the Sunday Mirror in the United Kingdom, which talked about how Ghislaine Maxwell would present young girls and young women to Donald Trump. And they called her Madame Maxwell in 1997. I mean, you have Donald Trump all over Epstein's flight logs. Epstein was on Trump's planes. We know from Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, that Donald Trump and Epstein were close friends, and Epstein and Trump were at Epstein's office frequently. We know from Epstein's potential biographer, Michael Wolff, that Epstein said that he and Trump were best of friends. Wolff says that he saw photographs of Donald Trump with a stain on his crotch with naked girls of indeterminate age on his lap. He said Epstein showed him those photos. I mean, what's out there? Oh, we know, for example, that Donald Trump and Epstein would throw parties at Mar-a-Lago, where they would just bring in like 30 girls from the pageants that Trump would throw, just for those two. I've showed you unearthed video of some of those pageants. I've showed you unearthed video of a guy named Uncle Luke from the band 2 Live Crew who went to one of these parties. Him, Eddie Murphy, and Mike Tyson. And he said, Uncle Luke, by the way, who would like go to crazy parties in the 1990s and 2 Live Crew. He said this was too depraved for him, and he saw underage girls, and he said it looked like the Tom Cruise movie. Eyes wide shut, he said, so he had to just leave and get out of there. So what we know is pretty freaking damaging. Just think about what I just told you. That's what's out there. Oh, and Donald Trump's due 174. Think about what's not out there yet. There's 300 gigabytes. So just release the files. Yeah, Pam Bondi says, I have communicated directly with counsel for Maxwell to determine whether she would be willing to speak. I anticipate meeting with Miss Maxwell in the coming days. Why the hell is our Attorney General meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell? And why the hell is Congress shutting down business to cover this up for Donald Trump? Here we have Democratic Congress member Robert Garcia. He's the new ranking member of the Oversight Committee for the Democrats. And he says, we're going to keep on talking about the Epstein files forever. We're not done talking about this until they get released. Play this clip. He's hoping, I guess, that he will outlast everyone through August. Do you think he can? Absolutely not. In fact, we're going to keep talking about the Epstein files until Donald Trump releases them. What's happening right now is the American public are seeing that Donald Trump has betrayed them. He's broken their trust. He ran on the Epstein files, a key part of his campaign. The MAGA world did as well. His family talked about it constantly. Don Jr. tweeted about it dozens of times. They have been focused on the release to the public and to build goodwill among his base. He is now completely reversed on that. And if Donald Trump or Mike Johnson think Democrats are just going to roll over and allow that to happen, they are highly mistaken. And here's Congressmember Garcia again, Democrat, saying also with the Epstein files and the way Donald Trump has handled this and the cover-up. It's a lens into Donald Trump covering up everything else as well. Play it, Democrats. Yes, we need to focus on health care. Yes, we need to focus on tax breaks for the rich, which we oppose. But this is about corruption. At the end of the day, this leans into Americans' understanding that Donald Trump is corrupt. He's not for you. He will lie to you. He will betray you, and he's only in it to save himself. And that's what this moment's about. All right. Well, now we also see from CNN, they got more exclusive video footage and photos of Donald Trump partying with Epstein. Lots of new footage there. I'll do a whole video as well on how Ghislaine Maxwell fears for her life. I'll talk about some of the new video footage of Donald Trump partying with Epstein that CNN got their hands on. But you take a look at the polling data right now on Donald Trump. The latest YouGov poll has Donald Trump's unfavorables with 18 to 29-year-olds. Get this, at 70%. Only 30% of 18 to 29-year-olds have a favorable view of Donald Trump. Donald Trump's overall unfavorability is 56%. If you look at the YouGov graph on the way the American people view Donald Trump's handling of inflation, which is a net negative 29%. I mean a massive negative approval when it comes to Trump's handling of inflation. It literally looks like a meme coin from the millennium, like just a complete crash. And by the way, even among white Americans, Donald Trump was previously at 61% approval amongst white Americans. And now, as of July 18, 2025, amongst white Americans, which was his core base, I suppose, although that's crazy to me. That shouldn't be that crazy to me actually knowing. But only 50% approve, 50% disapprove. Among moderates, 66% disapprove. And I mean, just look at how phony and vile he is, right? He gave this speech yesterday in front of the Republican congressional delegation after they shut down Congress. And Trump's like, "Here's what we're doing for prescription drug prices. Here's what you got to tell the American people. Ready? Are you ready? We're lowering prices 1,000%, 600%, 1,500%, 500%. Numbers that aren't even conceivable. They're not conceivable because the furthest they can go down is 100%. That would make it $0. You don't understand the concept of numbers. Here, play this clip. And this is for the people in this room because this is something that nobody else can do. We're going to get the drug prices down not 30 or 40%, which would be great. Not 50 or 60. No, we're going to get them down 1,000%, 600%, 500%, 1,500%. Numbers that are not even thought to be achievable. Because I've used a certain talent that I have and convinced the drug companies that you have no choice. I mean, how is that not disqualifying right here? Oh, and then Donald Trump says at that meeting with the congressional Republicans, he goes, every time that Democrats or reporters or your constituents, if they talk about the other topic, meaning Epstein, you need to just say, Obama. Just say, Obama. Blame Obama and accuse Obama of crimes. Here he is saying it in his own words. Let's play it. Obama cheated on the election. And we have it cold, hard, blue, and it's getting even more so because the stuff that's coming in is not even believable. So, and you should mention that every time they give you a question that's not appropriate, just say, oh, by the way, Obama cheated on the election. You'll watch the camera turn off instantly. And finally, we see this report out from Goldman Sachs. How the U.S. economy is headed into a period of noticeably slower growth as a result of the tariff impact on inflation and consumer spending now going down. And we see, as I've said, all of these landmines right now across the United States economy, each one that could explode and have a cascading effect. Oh, I should mention this before I go. Former President Obama issued a response to Donald Trump calling for Obama's arrest and calling Obama treasonous for some made-up story from 2016. Here's what Obama says. Out of respect for the office of the presidency, our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense and misinformation flowing out of this White House with a response. But these claims are outrageous enough to merit one. These bizarre allegations are ridiculous and a weak attempt at distraction. Nothing in the document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016 presidential election, but did not successfully manipulate any votes. These findings were affirmed in a 2020 report by the bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee led by then-Chairman Marco Rubio. Statement from the office of former President Obama. Rubio justified those findings. But the one part where I have to say I disagree with Obama is where he goes. Because Donald Trump has a constant flow of misinformation, our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense. I think you have to respond to it. Doesn't mean you're dignifying it. I think every time Trump says it, you've got to be out there. And personally, I would like to see former President Obama out there more pushing back against Donald Trump, because every time he does it so effectively. But if you don't respond to the constant stream of misinformation, it ends up becoming the reality. Even though it's false, based on the way our corporate news is here in the United States. So, you have to come out. You have to be on the offense 24/7. You have to push back. You can't just show up anymore the way Obama does. In my opinion, respectfully October before an election. He does. He gives the best speeches, or, the occasional speech that he'll give right now at a university. Those are great, but you can't just do 2 of them in 6 months, or wait till the election year. And I get it. He's a former president. He's got, most former presidents just kind of exit and sail into the sunset and live life quietly, but show up at major. But I just think we're in different times personally. And I say that, I'm a big Obama fan. I just think we need to see more of him, is my own view. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this deep dive valuable, hit that subscribe button so we can reach 6 million subscribers. Don't forget to like this video and comment with your thoughts. We'll be back soon with more stories from the dark corners of the world.